afternoon, boys and girls. It's afternoon story time with me, Miss Lynn. Hope you're doing well. Remember, while you're distance learning, if you have any questions at all, please contact your teachers, okay? They'll be happy to help. Their emails are on our School Loop webpage, on any of their pages, okay? If you have a question for me, you can also email me. My email is on my library page on School Loop, okay? I have a story. I'm going to continue with our great big book of bedtime stories. They're all by different authors. And this one's about the Deep Blue Sea by Bertha, Morris Parker, and Kathleen and Daly. Here we are. And you can see the flat part of the sea, and then look what's underneath. Let's find all the great treasures under the sea. The Deep Blue Sea. Oceans cover more than half of our Earth. All the oceans together are sometimes called the sea. There is more sea than land on this Earth of ours. The sea is big and deep and full of exciting things to know about. The surface of the sea looks flat, but underneath the sea, there is a strange, dim world. There are valleys and hills, mountains and canyons, just as there on our Earth above. There are valleys deeper than any we can imagine. Some of the mountains are higher than any on our land. Some of them rise up above the waves and appear as islands in the ocean. The sea looks empty, but it is full of living things. Almost everywhere there are fish. Some swim near the surface of the sea. Flying fish can leap right out of the water and glide through the air. There are hundreds of kinds of little fish, spotted and striped and bright colored. They dart in and out among the rocks and seaweeds in the gardens of the sea. Some fish stay near the floor of the sea. The flat flounder is one, and its speckles help it to hide. Now this picture is going to show you all kinds of sea creatures, and they're referring to this flat flounder right there. Okay, ooh, let's read about those bigger fish too. Some fish make long journeys. Sometimes they travel together in great crowds called what? Schools. At egg-laying time, a few travel back to the waters where they were born. No one knows how they find their way. Even where there are no fish, the sea is not empty. Floating about in the sea are millions of tiny plants and animals. They are so tiny that human eyes cannot even see them. All of them together are called plankton. Many sea creatures feed upon plankton. It is a kind of sea soup for them. Fish are always moving about. There are many dangers for them. There are bigger, hungry fish. Some of the fiercest fish are the sharks and barracudas. Fishermen set out in fishing boats and go far out to sea. Some places of the sea are especially good for catching fish. The fishermen go there and put down great nets for the fish to swim into. They catch whole boatloads of fish for people to eat. Seabirds eat fish. Noisy gulls and graceful terns and cormorants all swoop and glide over the waves, watching for fish with their sharp eyes. And when a cormorant sees a fish, it closes its wings and dives deep down into the water to catch it. Here, let me show you a picture. Look at them. See? Look at all those seabirds. Ooh, look what we have coming up next. Many birds fly far out to sea, and they may ride for hours at a time on the strong sea winds. When they are tired, they may rest on the waves or on a passing ship. The seas are great highways, and many ships travel back and forth across them. Well, the biggest animal in all the world lives in the sea. You know what it is. It is the whale. A whale is not a fish, and it cannot stay underwater all the time. It must come up to the surface to get air. When a whale spouts, it is blowing out stale air from its lungs. Often there is a baby whale swimming beside its mother and learning the ways of the sea. Sometimes a whale floats lazily in the sun. A seabird may rest on its head, and small fish swim in its shadow. And I want you to look at that whale picture again so you can see the whales and the smaller fish. Okay. Dolphins and porpoises are playful relatives of the whales. There are plants in the sea as well. Large brown kelps, feathery sea moss, green rockweed, all of these are seaweeds. Some seaweeds cling to rocks, some float. One part of the Atlantic Ocean is covered with floating seaweed. It is called the Sargasso Sea. Squids, big and small, shoot through the waters of the sea. The 8-armed octopus is a relative of the squids, and sometimes it walks along the seafloor on its tentacles. When a squid or an octopus is attacked or frightened, it can squirt out an inky cloud of liquid to hide itself. And far down beneath the surface of the sea, deep, deep down, the sea is dark. But even here, some fishes live. Strange creatures they are. Strange creatures they are. Some of them have long and terrible teeth, and some have glowing lights on their bodies. Fierce, hungry fishes they are, and some can swallow fish much bigger than themselves. The water of the sea is salty. Rivers bring salt to the sea, and day by day, year by year, rivers gather salt from the rocks and carry it to the sea. Let me show you these great pictures here of under the sea. Now, boys and girls, try not to be scared when you're reading a story of different animals or scary animals. This is good research so that you know what's going on under there. And the more you know of something, you're not fearful anymore. Why do you think scientists love to read about unknown things? Hey? People sometimes collect salt from the sea. Divers deep down into the sea to collect its treasures. They look for oysters that have pearls inside their shells, or they dive down to a sunken ship. And sometimes divers help to bring back some of the ship's cargo. The wind blowing on the sea makes the water pile up into waves. And sometimes a strong wind will blow for many days and form huge waves. They go rolling over the ocean, big and angry and frightening. But when the winds are gentle, the sea is friendly. There are little waves to splash in and playful breezes for sailboats. The sea is big and deep and full of things to know about. The sea seems to be saying, "Come, travel on my waters. Come explore me. Come learn my secrets." Here is a diver that they mentioned. And the sailboat picture is when the sea is calm, when the ocean is calm. So boys and girls, if you even search on National Geographic, learn about the sea, an explorer to me was Jacques Cousteau. If you can look him up, ask your parents if you can research what Jacques Cousteau did to preserve our seas. That was just a small story about our wonderful oceans. So get to know them. You have the time, okay? Enjoy your day, and I will see you soon on Afternoon Storytime. You take care. Bye.